Hello my dear friends, this is Prashant Mavani and I welcome all of you in today's lecture that is on geography, and we are talking about continents, right? In our last lecture we have traveled to South America, and in this lecture we are going to travel to Europe. So let's learn some exciting things about Europe which will help you to build understanding about the different continents of the world. Now, I keep on telling you guys, and I have to say that this is not limited to competitive exams aspirants. Of course, when I am making this lecture or presenting this lecture to you, it is particularly designed for competitive exams. But if you are a parent, and if you want your kids to learn something new or something out of the box regarding any continents, then feel free. It is going to be helpful to them as well. And who knows, in future if they may be preparing for competitive exams, then they don't have to go through all these things again. So let's move on. Europe. Now let's try to find out what we can see in this map that is on our screen. I will start with the northern side. If I see the northern side of Europe, I find it is covered with water. The other thing, on the western side of Europe as well, I can see it is sharing a boundary with ocean, isn't it? And on the southern side as well, we find water. That means Europe is surrounded by water from three different sides. One is north, one is west, and one is south. On the eastern side you find a country called Russia. Officially Russia is in part of Asia, but when we study Europe, part of Russia is also presented in Europe's map. Then the bigger things that I can see is Ural mountain. Right now this is a mountain, Ural mountain, that runs all from north to all across to southern side. Right, this part here, this Ural mountain, separates these two places. The area surrounding this area is known as Eurasia, because this is the place where Asia and Europe meets with each other. It literally divides, right, these two parts. Other bigger things is I can see here North European plain. Right now, if you don't know what exactly plain means, then don't get panic. In next series we are going to focus on all these different things like mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. Then Scandinavian mountains. Now these countries, Finland, Sweden and Norway, are also known as Scandinavian countries as well. Then the other major mountain that you find in Europe is Alps. This is quite famous mountain. You might have, if you're following cycling as a sport, right, then you know that Tour de France, one of the toughest cycling race, takes place in the mountains of Alps. So that's major part of your Europe, right, most of things. And then of course you have to do a bit of homework yourself. Pause the video over here and then you can check more things that which is not pointed out by me. The other thing is regarding Europe is you find Mediterranean Sea. Now this sea is in use for quite a long time because of all the migration taking place from war-torn areas of Syria and some of the poorest area of Africa. People from Africa and Syria, Iraq as well, are traveling to Europe. They are trying to enter Europe and they are using Mediterranean Sea as their route. That when we were learning about Morocco and Africa, African continent, we talked about Morocco, and I told you about Strait of Gibraltar. I'm sure by now you would be Knowing the meaning of strait, strait is a water body that divides two lands, isn't it? That's your strait. And if I would say isthmus, then it is a narrow land that divides two water bodies, right? We don't find any isthmus over here, we find only Strait of Gibraltar. Then you have major countries over here. You have France, you have UK. Brexit was in news, is being in news for a long time. You have Italy here, Germany, and many other countries here. Paris climate change is quite a famous thing in civil services, a major topic for you to focus on, and that took place in France. Apart from that, you have Belgium. A couple of days ago, Belgium was in news regarding its beer festival. It was in UNESCO's intangible culture. In that one, we talked about Belgium's beer culture. Then you have North Sea over here, Norwegian Sea here, Baltic Sea is here, and Mediterranean Sea. So that's basically your Europe. Apart from that, other things regarding Europe is you find Arctic Circle line is passing from Europe, particularly in Norway, Sweden, and Finland, isn't it? And then it is going into Russia. This is your Arctic Circle. This is 66.5 degree north. And you don't find Tropic of Cancer, which is the northernmost line for tropical zone. So predominantly speaking, Europe is completely in temperate zone, and part of Europe is in frigid zone as well. So now once you know what is temperate zone and frigid zone, and once you have checked Europe in that sense, in that context, then you know that the temperature of European country is going to be cold, isn't it? Then let's move on to other map which I have for you. Right, I have some plains of France here for you. Then you have Jolin Mountains, a North European plain which we have already checked. Caucasus mountains are here, right? So that's your Adriatic Sea, Ionian Sea. These are all your mountains over here. Right, the other things that you can see from this map is that you find North Atlantic Ocean over here. This is the ocean in which famous story, or the reality of course, that is about on Titanic was Titanic left from England for America, and it is in North Atlantic Ocean where it got capsized. On the northern side you have North Sea, beg your pardon, North Sea is over here. This area is known as Arctic Ocean. Right, this water that you see here is of Arctic Ocean. The other thing, if you notice, then you will find that this is the place where Asia meets Europe from here. Of course, we know there are many areas where this is the place, right? This is Russia and all these countries that again fall in Asian continent. But this is the place where Asia meets Europe, and over here Africa meets Europe. Of course, there is a Strait of Gibraltar over here, but in general terms you can say that this place, Spain and Morocco, are quite near to each other. Moving on, some other things regarding Europe. It is of course much smaller continent, lies mostly in Eastern Hemisphere, but as we know that prime meridian passes through United Kingdom, so a small part of Europe falls in Western Hemisphere, but rest of the Europe is in Eastern Hemisphere. Completely in Northern Hemisphere, we have already seen that one. Famous mountains, Alps mountain, right? Tour de France, remember this thing, water bodies in three sides. On the northern side you have Arctic Ocean, on the western side you have Atlantic Ocean, and on the southern side you have Mediterranean Sea. This countries or this continent has many countries that has ruled different parts of the world. Like England ruled over India. Apart from England, there were colonies of France. We had colonies of Portuguese, right? Goa is the place. It was Portuguese who arrived first in India, and they were the last one to leave India. But generally, because the major part of India was under British rule, that's why we only consider, in general terms, when we talk about freedom struggle, then we are mainly focusing on British Empire. Then you have other parts of the world. I'm giving you 2 or 3 examples, like Sudan, say for example, a country in Africa was ruled by British. Parts of Indonesia were ruled by Holland, or Dutch people. World War II and World War I, both World War I and World War II were the major players of World War I and World War II were countries from this part. Meets Africa and Asia, which we have already seen, right? So that's everything regarding Europe. I hope you are learning many things out of this series of continents. In next lecture we are going to take a tour of Australia, and then our final destination will be Antarctica. So I'll keep it till here. Do pass me your comments, your reviews, and I'll see you all soon. If you haven't subscribed, then do subscribe it right now and turn on that notification. Share this video with your friends and family members who are interested in learning about continents, or if they are preparing for civil services, then this is a very good material that you can share it with them. So I'll keep it till here. Take care. Goodbye.